candidate for MVP in his league best Ravens rushing attack, taking on the NFL's #1 defense since week 7. Aaron Donald and the Rams, totally different since Jalen Ramsey came aboard. Are they different enough to stop Lamar Jackson? That is next on NFL Total Access. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to NFL Total Access, presented by Bridgestone. Lindsay Rhodes with Michael Robinson and Akbar Bajabiamila with lots to say about the 12 games that we saw yesterday.
Oh, yeah, them Niners, they're getting into form, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but don't forget about the Seahawks. They were duking it out, but they got the win.
Right.
Yeah.
But first, we've still got a game to go tonight, and it is here in Los Angeles, and our show is called Total Access. So look who's live at the game, down on the field at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, where all the action is. Scott Hansen, Kurt Warner, and David Carr. Hi, guys.
Lindsay, good evening, and welcome everyone to the LA Coliseum for what is scheduled to be the final Monday night football game in the history of this venerable stadium. And Hollywood likes its stars, gentlemen, and maybe the biggest in the NFL is rolling in here tonight in Lamar Jackson, Kurt Warner.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch it up close and personal. You know, just like you talk to all the teams around the league and you go, well, you only get 7 days to prepare for what is so different in the NFL, and that's just scheme-wise. Then you got to try to prepare for that guy who is just different running the football, especially in tight spaces between the tackles. There's just nobody out there that can emulate him, and so I'm looking forward to seeing it up close and personal. I'm not sure the Rams' defense is.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing is you have a plan. Like, they try to scrap something together based on the film that they've seen and the success that some teams have had against Lamar. But then it's one thing to have that plan and feel good about it, warm and fuzzy, on the whiteboard, and then to take it on the field and realize he's faster than the guy that we thought was fast. The guy that we thought could spy him couldn't keep up. So then what do? At that point, you're kind of like, well, now we just got to play football and see if we can make something happen. Hopefully get him in long down and distance and make some plays. But other than that, it's a difficult task.
People love talking about the running aspect of his game. If you look at and you isolate his passing numbers, guys, say what you want about passer rating. Some people believe in it, some people don't. He's 4th in the league. He's up there with the Russell Wilsons and the Patrick Mahomes of the world throwing the football.
Well, no doubt about it. The bottom line is, if you give him his first read, he can sling it. He can play. Well, yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
what's up, man?
And
look at this guy.
We know
everybody's here. This is what we call total access, right? Man,
the gold jacket
he's
club,
showing up, no doubt. But the bottom line is, you give him his first read, he can make every throw. You've got to make him hold it and get through his progressions in hopes of making something bad happen and getting him behind the sticks, because that's really the only way to play this offense.
That's the difficult part, is getting him behind the sticks, because so many times on 1st and 2nd down, they're getting chunk plays, and it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and they can do whatever they want at that point.
We have so much to dissect in this Ravens-Rams matchup. The forecast for tonight, temperatures in the low 60s, a little bit of a breeze, and clear skies. Much different than what we saw in Foxborough, Massachusetts yesterday, as the Cowboys and Patriots went head-to-head. 2 first-place teams going at it in Gillette Stadium. The weather made this game offensively a slog. There was only 1 offensive touchdown. That was it right there. Tom Brady going to the rookie wide receiver, N'Keal Harry. It was a 13-9 game late in the 4th quarter. 4th down for the Cowboys. They need a touchdown to take the lead. Dak Prescott to Amari Cooper. He makes the clutch catch, but they reviewed this play and reversed it. Said the ball hit the ground. The Patriots beat the Cowboys 13-9. Dallas drops to 6-5, and the boss isn't happy about it.
To me, special teams is 100% coaching. It's 100% coaching. How strategy, it's having players ready. They use the makeup of the roster. We exclude certain players from it because they're too important in the defense and offensive phase of it. But other than that, special teams. And that's why today give Belichick and give them credit. They did a great job on special teams, and that was really probably the determining difference.
You ever been this frustrated with the first place team?
Well, but again, we've got a long way to go. And today and a couple of these other games, we with the makeup of this team, I shouldn't be this frustrated.
Wow, Jerry Jones talking about his team, the loss, and the coaching staff as well. Let's welcome in our Super Bowl winning New England Patriot, 3-time Super Bowl champ Willie McGinnis, and in these environments we say USC All-American Willie McGinnis. Willie, let's dissect what we just heard from Jerry Jones there. He's not happy, and it sounds like he's pointing a finger at Jason Garrett and the coaching staff.
No, he's not. He pointed out a lot of flaws, and when you talk about preparation, situational football, being prepared for a football game, roster moves, knowing the elements and all the different things that comes with getting ready for a football game and not being happy, pretty much pointed out that his staff wasn't prepared for the game. And when you're playing in those type of games, you got to be ready for every aspect of it. And, of course, we all know that Belichick's staff is one of the most prepared staffs in the league, but definitely showing displeasure with what went on in that football game, and that it wasn't even pretty much there was a disparity between one staff and another staff.
Well, and I think you can say that, but it was still a 4-point win. If you look at the Patriots in that weather, it wasn't like the Patriots went out and dominated them. That was a one-play difference in the game, and it was a special teams play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can point to that and go, the block kick, that's all that led to the touchdown. That was the difference. And to me, it's just tough to weigh a bunch of stuff in a weather game like that, because you could tell there were all kinds of issues going on because of the weather. Now, you can say prepare for the weather. I'll tell you a million times, I was a dome guy, right? I didn't play in weather. It was hard for me to ever get acclimated to playing in the weather in 6 days. I'm going from Dallas to Foxborough. How do I prepare for that? So I just believe it was a closer game. Neither team played extremely well. The Patriots did make the plays they needed to make to win the game, but it's really tough for me to judge a staff or a team or preparation based on that one game.
Kurt, maybe this is more than one game. Maybe he's seeing this from a lot of different games. And when two teams are really good and you're dealing with the elements, the team that makes mistakes, don't put themselves in harm's way, is a team that's going to come out with it. And especially when you're watching the breakdowns of the one-on-ones, and I think Stephon Gilmore, okay, we're talking about that
interception
and Amari Cooper, that breakdown. When you watch this right here, going into this game, it was man-to-man. And Stephon Gilmore did a great job of not getting the pass interference, tracking the football, and making a great play on the ball right here. And then when you look on the outside, Kurt, Dak wants to go to Amari Cooper. He looks out there and he says, there's no Amari Cooper being open. So he does a great job of going to his next progression. And I don't know if Jerry was talking about getting his guys open, finding different ways with the game plan doing that, but there was no Amari Cooper in this game. They took him out.
Right, and you knew coming in that was what it was going to be about. You got really good cover corners. You had Amari Cooper that was really good against man coverage, but your go-to guy doesn't get open. That makes it tough on any quarterback.
Dallas Cowboys are a 5-loss team. The Dallas Cowboys are still a first-place team, though, however, as well. And then New England is still the 1 seed in the AFC after the victory. All right, we're going to come back here in a little bit. Los Angeles in primetime, Lindsay. You, of all people, know the stars come out for this one. We're going to be visiting with entertainers from stage, screen, music, and football, as well as the Ravens and Rams get ready to battle.
Looking forward to that. You guys look like you're having a great time. Another game that got our attention yesterday, that blowout in primetime in Santa Clara. Did you see this one coming? Because this girl did not. Niners-Packers completely lopsided right from the jump. This was the 5th play of the game. Just about half the Niners defense ends up on Aaron Rodgers. Ball pops out. Bosa jumps on it at the 2. Next play, Tevin Coleman punches it in, and the Niners are up 7-zip just like that. With many more scoring opportunities to come, like this one in the 4th quarter. It's not a great look for the Packers defense.
Oh, he can throw the ball. Oh, yeah, he can. Oh, he can throw the ball.
Oh, and he did quite a bit in this one. Jimmy Garoppolo, tons of time, finds George Kittle wide open, 61 yards. 37-8, the final score there. That solidifies San Francisco's spot atop the NFC, handing the formerly second-seeded Packers their 3rd loss of the season, one that drops them down to 3 in the playoff standings. As you see here, they're still ahead of the Vikings, but only by virtue of a tiebreaker. That looks like a race that's going to go right down to the wire, as does the one in the NFC West. How great does that Week 17 Niners-Seahawks game look right now?
Yeah. It's going to be a fight, that's for sure. Yes, it is.
As for last night's game, this is the one where we take the asterisk off of it maybe for San Francisco. We stop talking about the teams that they played and start talking about how good they've played, Akbar.
Yeah, they're really good. Like, this is the team that doesn't have all the big names, and a lot of people, they've kind of really been kind of undercutting the talent, and this was the one that everyone marked off.
going against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, but I look at this team and the way they execute on defense to me is outstanding. They're beating guys with fundamentals. I mean, it's not like they're running a bunch of exotic schemes. They're getting and they're applying pressure. They're stopping the run game. They're being gap disciplined up front. And that's what I saw, especially in stopping the game. But when you look at the one-on-one matchups and just how they're beating guys, I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the 49ers? Like, now I believe. And for all those who didn't and said, you got question mark, I know they've got the Baltimore Ravens coming up next, and people are saying, oh, but this is the Ravens. You can't keep doing that. Like, give them their credit and watch them. I think they show up against the Baltimore Ravens. And then offensively, Kyle Shanahan has really done a masterful job in being able to utilize his personnel group. I mean, from the running back position to the quarterback situation, and then even their offensive tackle, too, as well. So,
I mean, and the tight end, George Kittle back.
George Kittle is the best tight end in football right now. So you're basically saying the Niners going to win next week against Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
You're calling it right here a week before 100%. Baltimore even plays tonight. You're already calling it.
100%.
Hey, man, I like your confidence. Yeah. But I will say I do agree with you on a lot of those points, specifically that defense. That defense reminds me of when we won the Super Bowl in Seattle. I mean, they have 7 or 8 guys that can get after the quarterback, and that front seven it's suffocating. And I think that's why when you saw in the post-game interviews, you saw the Packers players not necessarily that upset. I mean, look, they were disappointed that they lost, but I think they realized that they lost to the best team possibly in the NFC, definitely the best front seven.
How come you can't say they're the best?
Well,
not possibly.
I got to say possibly because there is New Orleans sitting out there still. There is Drew Brees still sitting out there that understands how to win late in the season.
You do know the 49ers are just a bad kick away from being undefeated. You do know that. But it was just a bad kick.
It was just a bad kick?
It was just a bad kick.
But did they lose the game?
They lost the game. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. I'm just reminding you as you're saying this.
Yeah, if my uncle was born something, never mind.
Oh,
I ain't gonna go into that.
Well, I think we can all agree that the Niners looked very good.
Yes, they
and
did.
The Packers, we haven't heard the last of them. Certainly didn't help their situation that they lost their starting right tackle in the first quarter to injury. But according to Ian Rappaport, who joins us now, they did get some good news today in that regard. What is it, Ian?
That's right. When Brian Bulaga went out, left on the sidelines with a knee injury, this was a little alarming, especially when you consider this was the knee that he tore the ACL on previously in his career. But no worries here. Sources say this is just an MCL sprain for Brian Bulaga, and I am now told that he probably only misses 1 or 2 weeks. He hasn't actually been ruled out yet for this coming week. Seems like a long shot, but theoretically he has a chance. Most likely, though, just 1 or 2 weeks for Brian Bulaga. Then another big injury we have been tracking, that of Carson Wentz. And if you watch closely on the sideline, the Eagles quarterback was kind of shaking his hand out, didn't get a good grip on the football. That is because he actually suffered a bruise around his middle finger on his hand, kind of on